Oh, hey. I was actually on my way out because I'm going to a conference called Sweden Game Conference where I'm actually going to be a speaker. So that's going to be really interesting. Yeah, I love going to events like this because it's a lot of game developers and I get to be on stage. So yeah, pretty cool. I'll see you there. On my way to the event right now. The weather's absolute dog shit, but that's what you get when you have like an event in Sweden. It's like super fucking foggy and shit. But it's gonna be fun. Just like speakers halls, and there's like an area where you can watch games and stuff and see who's like displaying games. So it's gonna be dope. It's so fucking foggy. Holy shit.
Something. Why don't we talk afterwards and I can hear what you have and I can give you some more focused advice.
That's some damn fine coffee right there. So yeah, fast forward to Snutt in the future. Shot that 4 months ago. Better late than never. So yeah, I was a speaker at the Sweden Game Conference and it was a lot of fun. I love talking in front of people. I don't know what that is. A lot of people hate it. A lot of people are like, I'd rather die than speak in front of an audience. And they're like, it's really stressful. I don't get that at all. Like, I wasn't stressed out at all. Before the talk, I was just like hanging out and chilling. It's just, I enjoy speaking in front of people. I don't know why. Maybe it's like some kind of narcissism thing. Maybe it's just that, I don't know, there's something with the connectivity that you have when you talk to people. Because like when you're making a video like this, it's just like, you get an instant response from people when you do that. I enjoy it. I enjoy being a speaker. I also enjoy going to talks. There's just something about talking about something that you're passionate about. And I love hearing people talk about something they're passionate about. And I love people explaining things they're passionate about. I don't get like stage fright or anything like that. I know a lot of people do. I know a lot of people get like really nervous before talks.
Hey man.
What's up?
How you doing?
Pretty good. As long as I feel prepared, that's the main thing. Like, as long as I feel prepared, I have nothing to worry about. I prepared my slides like weeks in advance. Like, one of my biggest nightmares when I studied music was going on stage and you have to perform something completely different than you thought you were gonna perform. If you guys have ever seen Whiplash, then you probably know what I'm talking about. And yeah, it's insane to see like everything people have built. Like, these are just power plants and like look at this shit. Like, so those are all conveyor belts, by the way. Shout out to Josh from YouTube channel called Let's Game It Out. This guy does not know what boundaries are. I guess the only thing I was nervous about was what kind of questions I would get at the end of the talk. You have no idea what people are gonna ask you. There's also the thing where it's really hard to hear the person asking that question because there's no stage audio. When people are asking questions, it all echoes around in the room and you have like no idea what they're saying. And you know, I have issues like understanding what people are saying when they're standing 1 feet away from me. But I had a really good audience. I got really good questions at the end of it. Unfortunately, they didn't film the talk. I know a lot of people were asking about like, where can we see it or is it available somewhere? Unfortunately, they didn't film it whatsoever. But I'm pretty sure I will do this talk somewhere else in the world soon. The conference also took place in Skövde, which is very convenient because that's where I work. So in between talks, if I'm having downtime or whatever, I can just like go back to work and work for a bit and then come back later. So what we usually end up doing is that we tend to go to the talks that we want to go to, that we find interesting, and then when we're having downtime, we can just go back and work. So my talk was about optimization in Satisfactory, which is the game that we're working on. And I kind of wanted to keep the talk kind of like broad. So when you go into talks like that, it's usually like very specific and it's like, this is how we did it. And this is what methods worked for us. And while I wanted to talk to have stuff like that, which is very interesting, I think, when you're going to talks for other studios, because usually when people talk about implementations they've done in games, they're usually talking about big ass games, and usually I'm not going to be able to build that big of a game if I'm going to want to try out implementations that people have done. So it's very interesting to go to talks and hear about how other developers did different solutions. So I kind of wanted to keep that in. At the same time, I also wanted to keep the talk kind of broad so that anybody could really go to the talk and still get something out of it. So even if you weren't a programmer, or even if you weren't a tech artist, I still wanted the talk to kind of like encompass what would be interesting to hear, but also so that it sounds very techy, so people realize like, oh, these guys sure spent a lot of time fixing their tech. So yeah, to me it was very important that my talk was not too deep, not too general. Find that sweet, sweet spot so that everybody can feel that they got something out of it, or nobody feel like they got anything from it. What do I? Now, I wasn't the only one at Coffee Stain who were doing a talk. Our UI designer and artist, Natalie, also joined in, talked about the many iterations of UI in our game and how we came up with those different solutions. And we also had Jace joining in, whom I interviewed for my first episode of Game Dev Circle, which you can find up here somewhere in the cards, maybe?
All right, Jace, you're talking like 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours.
Yeah.
When's your talk?
I mean, you should be filming this.
Yeah, I am filming this.
Oh, you are? It's 4 hours from now.
Yeah, 4 hours. Are you prepared?
No,
Do you
of course
feel-
not. I'm still making the slides.
What's your
But
talk about?
It's going to be about rehumanizing game developers, because the connotation there is that game developers, and not just game developers, it also includes the community, have been dehumanized. It is now a war between faceless corporations and the mob. So I talk about how we can rehumanize ourselves and rehumanize our community so we can all be people and get along. Or don't get along if you don't want to. I'm more hyped now that I have a talk. I didn't have a talk until like yesterday, basically.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I wrote a script like 8 times, and I had a lot of content, but I had trouble putting it into like a structured talk.
Right.
So like with Izzy's help and also Berk's a bit as well, I was able to create a talk, and then we just refined it, and then last night we were making slides. So I think it's gonna be fine. Like as it all is, I have a talk. My favorite slide is it has to be the Simon Saga, or this one here, this one. So I talk about Sean Murray, right, from Hello Games, and how he was like heavily abused for all of that, right? I'm not like saying he didn't fuck up or anything like that. That doesn't matter. What matters is the way that people treated him. So I talk about that here. And then the very next one I do this picture that they put out there. And the joke here is, this beard is the beard of someone who's released a game. I mean, look at this.
It's actually really true.
He hasn't been home for a very long time.
Yeah. Can't wait to see it.
I can't wait till it's over.
So during the day, there would be talks at the venue, and then during the evening, there would be like kind of game dev meetups, where really, it's really cool, because like it's both open for students and for people in the business. So we get a chance to meet up and network or whatever.
Hey, Berk, how you doing?
I'm hungover, man.
You're hungover?
Yeah.
What did you do last night?
I went to the Coffee Stain party and then to the Flame Red party afterwards.
That sounds hot. But you fucking stayed out like a true champ.
Yep.
Good
And I
times.
regret it. Nah, I don't.
And
I
then
don't
we're gonna be out tonight.
Oh shit.
And tomorrow night.
And tomorrow.
Yeah. It's gonna be
a good weekend. It's gonna be a good weekend.
Yeah,
Just
it's gonna be
like
fucking
nothing
good.
So yeah, that's my experience as a speaker at a game dev conference, and my thoughts on that in general. I'm glad that you made it this far into this video, because it's not what I usually upload. I usually upload my interview videos. I've still got many more interviews coming. It's just they take forever to record and schedule and edit. So that's just mainly it. So I might like upload more videos of this nature in between. I don't know, we'll see. What do you guys think? Leave a comment in the thing. So yeah, don't forget to like, comment, and jazz hands, and we'll see each other some other time. Okay, bye.